This is my CA2B15 monitor top from 1934. I first got this fridge in February of 2012 off eBay. I only paid $150 for it because the high side tube had been damaged, so the thing was out of refrigerant. If I can get this to focus, I don't know if you can read anything on the back of here, but it uses 2 3/4 pounds of methyl formate as a refrigerant, like my CA1 does. Looking at the serial number, we can see that the first digit is a 4, so it's 1934. This is a Form B machine, which is the 1934 version. Form A is 1933. The CAs were only produced for those 2 years. One of the interesting things about the CA is that it mostly works in a vacuum. The compressor dome is on the high side, whereas usual practice is to have it on the low side. One of the problems that this can cause is that when it's very cold, that the methyl formate will condense inside the dome, and to prevent that, or try and reduce it, there is a little 14 watt heater in the base of the dome. The thermostat has a couple of interesting features. There's an overload built into it, so if the motor should stall and draw excessive current, it'll trip off. There's a defrost function which basically changes the, or it offsets the thermostat so that the fridge runs a little bit warmer, and once the defrost is complete, it'll switch back to the on position. Okay, we'll just have a look inside. Temperature here is 30 degrees Fahrenheit, and here's the evaporator. As you can see, it's slightly bigger than the CA1. It's double shelf. The middle shelf does nothing. It's just for, supporting extra things that you might have, but it's obviously thermally connected to the rest of the evaporator. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, just down the side there is the capillary tube and the filter. You can see where it's soldered onto the old float valve seat. Yeah, this fridge has taken a considerable amount of work to get it going, but at last it's all happy. The system was badly contaminated, so it's had to have a very thorough clean out, but I had a lot of problems with non-condensable gases in this, but the second clean out, in which I used R22, did the trick, and everything is good. It's still running at the moment. There's the float valve, or the charge valve I should say. It's the actual inlet where you refill it. One of the characteristics of the Form B machine is that it has a larger float valve chamber, because methyl formate can produce non-condensable gases due to it breaking down, and one of the problems was that you would have to purge the non-condensable gases from the machine every so often, and one of the ways they delayed it on the later machine was simply to have a larger chamber for the NCGs to collect. Yeah, duty cycle on this fridge, it's about 5 minutes run time and about 19 minutes off time. It's winter at the moment, so that'll probably be not quite as good once we get into the height of summer and we get the sort of 38 degree centigrade days. At the moment the temperature's probably about 15 degrees centigrade. This is a 7 cubic foot cabinet. The COs came in either 7 cubic foot or, as with the CA1, 5 cubic foot. And under here is transformer. This is a toroidal type rated at 500 VA to step down the 240 to 110. We'll just have a look at the power meter while it's running. Okay, 171 watts, 169, change this, 244 volts, and it's just switched off, and that 15 watts is the heater and transformer losses. Okay, the other gadget I'll show you is a timer I built, which lives under the fridge. It looks all rather crude. This is a compressor timer. You can see here a current transformer. That senses when the fridge compressor is actually running, and there's a little timer circuit built on that circuit board. And there's the actual timer, and what happens is if the compressor should run for more than 25 minutes, this relay here will trip and shut the supply off. And the reason for this is just to protect the compressor under fault conditions, because back when I was having a lot of troubles with this fridge, the compressor would run on, when it still had the float valve in it, the compressor might run for several hours, and that's obviously not a good thing to do. So the little compressor timer would shut it off and protect everything, but since everything is all happy now, I don't really need it, but it might as well sort of stay there. Again, like the CA1, I've repainted the cabinet just with ordinary white appliance enamel, and it's come up very well. So there you have it, my 1934 CA2 B15.